Welcome everybody, it's Showman. In this video, I'm going to be reading out for you guys the entire Agartha timeline, and this is just talking about Agartha, where it came from, and how our characters got there, and how everybody got in the house in Agartha in the first place. It's pretty darn cool. I highly recommend listening to this one because this holds a lot of stuff that we really wanted to know, and we finally got revealed inside this timeline. But if you guys do want to check out the other timelines like Dimension 63, the original timeline, or the Fractures, then go ahead and check out my channel, and hopefully there'll be a playlist there too if you guys just want to listen to all of them at one time. But if you guys do go to enjoy this video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for content similar to this, go ahead and subscribe. But with that out of the way, let's get into this video. Agartha, the summoning key. The keepers craft the summoning key, a device that allows them to manipulate the ether, holding power over reality itself. They use it to create Agartha, the first transference device. The keepers master the ability to travel between dimensions. The dark ether. Some keepers begin to experiment with the dark ether, which corrupts and corrodes their souls. Among them is the Shadow Man. The ether pyramid. The corrupted keeper create an ether pyramid, a device capable of absolute power. A schism is formed between them and those keepers untainted by the dark ether. The War of Agartha begins. War breaks out between the corrupted and uncorrupted keepers. The War of Agartha ends. Facing defeat, the corrupted keepers hide in the ether pyramid on the moon, within one of the newly discovered dimensions. After banishing the corrupted keepers to the dark ether beneath creation, the remaining keepers take on the mantle of guardians. Trapped in the dark ether, the corrupted keepers contort and evolve over eons, ultimately becoming the Apothecans. They desire above all else to return to Agartha. The first arrival. With Dr. Monty's help, the Maxis drone arrives in the house in Agartha. Despite the absence of his soul, Monty recreates a physical manifestation of his Dimension 63's form. The arrival of Samantha. Monty brings Samantha into the house, reuniting her with the Dimension 63 incarnation of her father. Samantha's corruption. Knowing Samantha is corrupted by the dark ether, Monty takes her away from Maxis and the house. The isolation of Maxis. Alone in the house and missing his daughter, Maxis wonders if Richtofen will have the courage to fulfill the vow he made to him all those years ago. The rediscovery of the empty earth. Having observed Monty for some time, Maxis uses teleporters in the basement of the house to study and explore the other dimensions. Among them is an empty earth, where an alternate Maxis constructed Zero Base, a facility that houses artifacts and replicates a collection of a multitude of different timelines. However, his attempt to manipulate the empty earth created a reality too fragile to be sustained. The restoration of innocence. Monty returns Samantha to Maxis. Her innocence is restored. Monty's plan. Monty explains to Maxis that the paradox brought by the multiverse must be resolved. A new reality can be created, one free of the Apothecans, but only if they enlist the aid of souls who have lived through and survived the fractures. The Chronorium secured. Among the artifacts Maxis collected in Zero Base is a book known as a Chronorium, a complete chronicle of the entire history and future of all reality. Protected by various countermeasures, the facility can be accessed by those possessing a soul. Richtofen's journeys begin. Richtofen tells Maxis the plan to secure the Chronorium and locate the summoning key. Hearing echoes of his other selves, Richtofen discovers a connection with Samuel Stullinger and decides to use Victus to acquire the Chronorium. The manipulation of Stullinger. Having overseen the construction of a laboratory beneath Alcatraz, Richtofen returns to the house where he begins to communicate with Stullinger. Together they pursue Victus and travel through various locations in order to discover the Chronorium. Chronorium's retrieval. Upon arriving at Zero Base, Victus provides blood samples that will allow them to access the empty earth and recover the Chronorium. The blood acquired. Richtofen collects the Victus blood samples from the undead Richtofen. The arrival of Edward. Richtofen collects Eddie's innocent soul from Dimension 2210, and Monty gives him a physical form in the house. Samantha meets Edward. Eddie and Samantha meet each other for the first time. Samantha writes in her diary that Edward doesn't like to share the toys. The happiness of the children. Monty brings Eddie and Samantha more toys. The fragile memory. Maxis notes that teleportation and travel between dimensions could have a profound impact on the mind. He fears that the confusion caused by the collision of memories past, present, and future could lead to the collapse of reality itself. The arrival of the souls. The souls arrive. Maxis tells Samantha and Eddie to put the toys away and to make sure the windows are locked before they come down to the basement. The children reborn. As each soul arrives, Monty transforms them into their younger selves and returns their innocence. The arrival of Primus. Now soulless, Primus brings the summoning key to the house, where Maxis unwittingly releases a Shadow Man, who turns free the Apothecans from the dark ether, unaware they have been wiped from existence. Once they serve their final purpose, Primus battles alongside Monty in the final battle against the Shadow Man. Revelations. With the Shadow Man and the Apothecans vanquished, Monty discovers Primus has consumed blood of souls from dimensions that no longer exist. The paradox must be resolved.